All right. Hi. All right. Welcome. All right. Hi. All right. Bienvenidos. Welcome to Rosas y Pistolas, a Pasión de las Pasiones. Okay. I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm getting feedback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're ready. Thank you so much for your patience and welcome officially to episode 2 of Rosas y Pistolas, our Pasión de las Pasiones actual play. My name is Christina Sisto Kindle. I use any pronouns, and I'll be your director this evening for our second episode of our late 1800s Texas-based ranchero RPG. We are raising money for RACES, the Refugee Immigrant Center for Education and Legal Services. And if you'd like to grant a player a condition to help us turn up that drama, you can go ahead and hit the donate button. It'll be in the chat as well. Pasión is a telenovela role-playing game by Brandon Leon Gambetta, where our players take on the role of characters in this popular telenovela. You can find the quick start over at Magpie Games, and again, our story takes place in that ranching community, Navarro City, Texas. And last episode, we met our characters, we dove into drama, and we found out how Ernesto grabbed power. We watched Angel shake things up with some incriminating letter forgery. We were all charmed by Joaquin, and we got to watch a passionate on-screen moment between Adoncia and Rosa, which was so wonderful. So let's turn up the drama again, and let's go around the table. Go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us what happened last time on Rosas y Pistolas.
Hi, I'm Monroe. My pronouns are he, they, and I play Joaquin, pronouns he, him, our lovable himbo farmhand. And last time on Rosas y Pistolas, he watched Ernesto and Angel kind of get into it. Little did he know someone was watching him, watching his twin. We don't know who yet, but we'll find out soon, I'm sure.
I can go next. Hi, I'm Friday. She, her pronouns, or ella, if we're speaking Spanglish as we do here. And I play Aroncia, same pronouns. And gosh, yes, last time on, well, after my very passionate confession of love with my beloved roommate and gal pal and coworker, Rosa, she had to leave abruptly. I was distraught and confused. And in helping clean up after the beautiful barn dance, I found in my possession a letter that somebody dropped that is addressed to the sexy and mysterious Dr. Joe. I happened to peek inside accidentally, and I saw some very intriguing information about a plot that is really none of my business, but now I have this information.
Hello, everyone. I play Ernesto, and in real life, I am Luciano. As Luciano, my pronouns are they, them, and as Ernesto, everyone's favorite dastardly villain, I go by he, him. In a post-credits scene, so to speak, last episode, I revealed that the reason why one of our lovely castmates is gone is that I helped arrange for her to have a temporary job in the big city. So that's why she's not with us today.
And I'll round us out. Hey, I'm Mo. I go by they, she pronouns. I play Angel, they, them pronouns. And Angel is El Caballero, basically just a local farm ranch human who really just has been here long enough to see everything and has sometimes gets into the wrong things. Things wind up in their hands. They may have stolen some mail, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It wound up there. It's not stolen. And last time on, Angel actually caught Adoncia and Rosa sharing their most intimate moment when they thought no one else was looking.
So we have our setting Our cameras are rolling, and it will roll into our familiar opening credits scene. You see fields of yellow roses crossing a river. You see the small ranch town. That cowboy in silhouette rides across the screen, swirling a lasso, then it forms into the words Rosas y Pistolas. We see a montage of our cast members. We see Joaquin putting on a hat, staring out into the desert sunset, Angel saddling up a horse, Rosa performing in front of a red curtain, Adoncia sighing over the bar, and Ernesto seated at a large oak desk as the theme strums. And our camera zooms in on the first scene of our episode, Angel and Ernesto. Where do we find you, and what are you doing?
I like to imagine that we are still in the party and that this is just a little quiet moment before we get into the real meat of the episode, where Ernesto is quietly scoping out the rest of the party. And at this point, there's just like a quiet lull in the action. There's not that much going on, but Ernesto is constantly vigilant and is just watching, waiting for something to happen.
And I think just at that moment, Angel with a glass of spring tequila in hand comes up and like leans against the wall next to Ernesto, not even looking at him, just sort of like there's like one of those cool lean backs and surveying the dance floor as well as they're taking a sip. Like, anything you're finding interesting?
Ernesto quietly turns and grudgingly acknowledges Angel. Even though this is obviously not something that Ernesto likes, there's a soft smirk on his face. He's constantly confident and domineering, and he looks over at Ernesto and is like, "This party is kind of boring. It seems like all the fun stuff is probably over. What you thinking, partner?"
I mean, fun stuff's only what you make fun. And Angel just gives like a little smirk and just slams back the rest of the tequila. That was like maybe like a half a shot at that point, like, but like it's the sip and stuff, so that stuff usually should not be slammed.
Ernesto looks over at Angel and chuckles and is like, "You want to make tonight a little bit more interesting? You want to see if you could drink more than me?"
Oh, I know I can drink more than you. That is not a question.
All right. What are you willing to wage?
What are you willing to wage?
I honestly don't know what I have that intrigues you. You seem as annoying as it is to me. You're not quite like everyone else here. You're more or less content where you are. And it's not really a compliment.
Oh, no, it's a compliment. Thank you. Thank you for that. Gracias.
Ernesto just looks at you and chuckles and is like, "Is money your thing? Or are you one of them principled assholes?"
Am I even principled? That's a good question, because I don't say. Like, I don't think I am. Pero money, just buys me more drinks, helps me get a place to stay. Like, it does. I mean, if anything, I always just go sleep in the barn. I don't care.
Ernesto just quietly, I like to imagine that Ernesto has like a little bit of facial hair. He's not quite as thick with facial hair as I am, but he has a little bit of a beard, and he quietly strokes it for a moment as he contemplates Angel's like last out loud declaration, because obviously not all of that was out loud. And he's like, "Why don't you set these terms? I'm the sort of person that I have a lot to give, and it's difficult for me to say no. So I'd be
you're so
interested in what you
charitable.
want."
That sounds great. Let's see then. If I win, God, what do I even want from you? Don't even know. If I win, you get me the bank teller's phone number. Oh, they only have phone numbers back in the day. This is the 1800s. You give me their address. You get me. Hold on. Rewind. If I win, you give me, you tell the bank teller that I'm intrigued in courting them. If you win, God, what do you want from me? I have nothing.
How about this? If I win, you agree to keep my little brother away from Adoncia just for a little bit. Maybe a day. You keep him distracted on the ranch.
Okay, so we won't go to the bar to drink for that day. Oh no. Oh, whatever. That's the terms and set. Sure.
I mean,
then,
we're two very different people, so it is difficult to find like terms.
Yeah, what is a term? All right, come on, vamos, let's go. Let's go hit the bar.
What do we roll for this?
Yeah, so I'm going to have you roll competing strike out at someone rolls.
Oh.
Okay.
Or no, I lied. You're going to demand what you deserve.
Ooh,
Okay.
I love
Because something's on the line, you are demanding it for yourself. You are going to demand what you deserve, though, through shots of tequila. Angel, you are offering something of value in return. Does Ernesto love you in this moment?
Oh, love is a little strong of a word. I would say more like entertained by the concept of what we're doing.
I feel, yeah, I definitely think that's fair because
I don't
like
think it's love.
Ernesto's having fun with this. This isn't one of those moments where Angel and Ernesto are enemies. If anything, I'd say that Ernesto, even though he doesn't like Angel, has like a bit of grudging respect for Angel because Angel's one of the only people that Ernesto can't really manipulate that easily.
All right. And Angel, are you handling things with guile and head on?
I mean, I'm taking on a shot for shot drinking competition, so I believe it's a little head on.
All right, so you're going to go ahead and roll +2.
Okay.
Now, Ernesto, same first two questions. Are you offering something of value in return? I think yes.
Yeah, I think so because it was Angel who set their own terms. So yeah, I feel like this is something that Angel values at least a little.
Okay. And does Angel love you in this moment?
No.
And are you taking control of the situation?
I think so. I think that this is like as far as you can take control of a of a drinking contest. I feel like
he
that.
thinks he's taking control. Therefore, he's taking control.
Okay.
That's what my plan is. That's what I'm hearing right now. It's like, yeah, he assumes he has the power. Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be enough for that +2. So both of you roll 2d6 +2, and we'll see who comes out not under the bar.
So I got an 11, I got a 5 and a 4, and I did my roll on roll 20.
I got a 13. Yeah. I got a 5 and a 6 +2. Yeah.
So, Ernesto, your vision begins to cloud as you start going shot for shot with Angel. Angel, what does it look like as you throw him back there?
Very smooth, like just like leaning against the bar, like just tossing it back, maybe giving a wink to someone who's passing by. Like, the hat comes off at one point, and like is on the table. Eventually, like the shirt's like sort of slightly unbuttoned. Just like enough to like, they're just really getting the shots and they're just cracking up and just like having a good time the whole time.
And how about you, Ernesto?
Since Ernesto lost this competition, at first I'm gonna say that like he looked pretty smooth at first, but then like after a little bit, he's definitely starting to feel it. And before he concedes, he's just like, oh, allow me one moment, because I'd rather not lose my dignity. I will concede this competition to you. My friend is definitely not the right term for our particular relationship, but I will definitely admit that in this particular instance, you have bested me.
You'll say, I know. It's okay. Go drink some water. It's fine. And I think with that, Angel's gonna like pat him on the back and like very drunkenly just like kiss him on the head and like just walk off.
Ernesto's constantly trying to stay in control, so he doesn't appreciate that, but he's just like, I am like internally, his internal monologue that is audible to the audience is just like, this motherfucker is lucky that I did not get some more drinks than me. Back in my day, I definitely would not have taken that sitting down, but I'm just gonna gracefully leave this situation before I do something I regret.
And Joaquin, you saw this whole situation, yes?
Yep.
What's going through your head?
Probably just, while acknowledging that Ernesto is like kind of a thorn in everyone's side, kind of appreciating like just Angel in that moment being a good sport about everything. Basically grateful nothing got violent.
For once.
For once.
Because no, Angel. Sometimes it does.
Ernesto is not afraid of violence, but he's someone who's like surgical with it. He's not going to randomly indulge in acts of violence unless it advances a goal of his. And I mean, eliminating Angel at some point might be a worthy goal, but right now in this party, nah.
Does anyone else have any party scenes that they'd like to follow up on or wrap up before we skip forward in time?
I think Angel did catch that moment as they're like walking away from Ernesto, like just like, and saw Doncia and Rosa in the window. And I think just watches and it has like another thing of tequila. Kind of like raises a glass to them before sipping it and just keep walking past.
A definite blush from Adoncia. We're having a moment, okay?
You're like, how dare you spy on us? Like, you're in front of the window.
Right. Has Adoncia been subtle one time? Even no.
No.
Oblivious, yes. Subtle, no.
Mm-mm.
Well, the camera flies forward. You see scenes of Navarro City happen in very quick passing. You see people walking up and down the main streets, congregating in the Zocalo, sharing food, selling flowers, all kind of in rapid speed, indicating the passage of time. We see Rosa getting on a train to San Antonio, waving goodbye to Adoncia on the platform. We see the fields wave with crops, and the flowers in the yellow rose fields bloom and blossom. And we are a few days after Rosa has left the city, left Navarro City. Adoncia, where do we find you? How are you doing?
Sigh. First of all. Secondly, I think doing a lot of like gazing melancholically is a word now, out various windows. Just like a lot of, fondling of the little like perfectly preserved flower that a secret admirer left on my table and thinking, a rose, possibly from Rosa? Oh, I don't know. A lot of this back and forth. I don't know. Maybe it was all in my head. Maybe we just got caught up. Oh, if she would just come back, maybe we could talk about it. What if I'm wrong and I've ruined our friendship? So a lot of that. is going on, gazing out the window of the boarding house, gazing forlornly across the crowded bar at the stage where Rosa normally is singing, generally just absentmindedly bumping into people, and also just carrying around this wrinkled letter, really unsure what to do with that. Adoncia is very troubled of heart and mind at the moment. Thank you for asking.
Now this letter, you found it while cleaning up after the party. How much have you looked into this letter?
Well, I happened to glance inside it, and the paper wasn't terribly well folded. So I would never open someone else's letter, but I did happen to see that it was addressed to Dr. Joe, who I have very mixed feelings about. I'd like for everyone to know that. And it seems to allude to JP, the newcomer to town, having some ill intent toward someone that was unclear to me. Dr. Joe, Ernesto, I don't know, but he seemed like such a nice man, so I don't know what to do with this information, except maybe talk to Ernesto about it. He doesn't seem entirely pleasant. He gets prickly, but at least he knows stuff about money.
He does indeed. Are you going to meet with him? And Ernesto, you do also, you owe Angel a favor as well, having to do with the teller at the bank.
I suppose in this moment, we find Ernesto quietly brooding at the desk atop the bank. We see him with like his hands crossed like this and his head on his hands as he just contemplates the events of the last couple of days. His internal monologue is audible to everyone, but it's nothing of serious consequence this particular moment. Eventually, though, he does decide that he's going to head over to the teller and he's going to give them a very brief message saying that Angel, that very dashing and gallant Thembo over at the ranch is intrigued by them. I don't know if we ever assigned a gender to the specific teller.
No,
okay,
no,
appreciate you. So I'm going to keep using gender neutral pronouns for them. And I'm going to spend a few minutes chatting up the main thorn in my side, because I want people to know that I am a man of valor and that if you make a bargain with me, I will keep it, even though internally I'm just like, this shit sucks. I'm not a fan of this at all. And then Ernesto is going to quietly head on over to get some lunch over at the saloon.
I suppose from one scene with this kind of folded hands to another scene with this kind of hands occurring. Really good hand acting in these scenes. As Ernesto enters the saloon, he would certainly see Adoncia just sort of absent-mindedly wiping down the same patch of bar that she has been, and just kind of troubled about the brow and aura.
Ernesto will quietly walk over to her and sit down in front of her and just idly remark, I think that you've done a rather spectacular job on that particular bit of hardwood. I personally feel like maybe you should move on to other parts. But at the same time, you look distracted, dearie. Why don't you tell me what's on your mind?
Well, first of all, thank you for the lovely compliment on my work. I do my best to perform in an exemplary fashion here. You know, it's only recently that I've come up from the streets and I really want to prove my worth. So thank you. I appreciate that, Ernesto. And well, you know things about powerful men and strangers and dealings with money. This seems to be your area of expertise. And well, you know me, I don't know anything about these things. I've encountered a letter, Ernesto, and it's troubling me deeply.
Ernesto quietly contemplates what he has just heard, and then he looks over at her and is like, Adoncia, dear, someone as innocent and sweet as you should not be concerned with the wheelings and dealings of the powerful. I do fear that someone who has more power, be it more of a physical nature or power of the more subtle kind, like the sort of power that I am intimately familiar with, would be able to use it to deal you harm. I worry that someone like you going unprotected in a world as wide and as dangerous as Navarro City, it doesn't bode well for your innocence and for your purity. Why don't you share with me this letter if you're afraid of its contents?
Well, I know we haven't always been close, Ernesto, but you do have your golden moments. I've seen such good in you at times, and it really brings my heart some solace to know that you're looking out for me. I will share this letter with you. Tell me what you think. I'm afraid I'm in over my head here. I'd like to give him the letter.
Ernesto gently takes it and he gives her a soft, mostly genuine smile. He quietly examines the contents of the letter, and I don't know if you would like for me to roll anything with this, but if not, he's just going to he's going to assume that it's speaking the truth and hasn't been altered.
I was thinking that this might be a great time for either of you to process your feelings out loud.
Ooh. So Ernesto is going to read over the contents of the letter, and effectively, as of the alterations that were made to it, it suggests to him, as someone who is aware of the softer side of power in Navarro City, that there is a quiet coup that is gradually, at least being planned, if not actively acted upon by two powerful strangers. And as he looks at it, he quietly reads it out loud in a tone that only Adoncia can hear. And he begins to process it out loud, sharing his understanding of it with her. And I suppose that I will do my little roll. Let me make sure I don't have anything that would make that roll worse. So I can just roll 2d6.
Right. So the audience is going to give you some bonuses, some benefits on this roll, since you are processing your feelings. So we're going to ask the audience, are you rooting for Ernesto in this moment? Or do we want Ernesto to succeed? And also the rest of the cast is also part of the audience. So
I'm going to point out, if this is allowed, that this isn't Ernesto being evil yet. This is just Ernesto, he's literally reading the letter out loud and adding context to it. So Normally he's the bad guy, but in this instance, he's just an unbiased narrator.
All right, I'm seeing a lot of love for Ernesto, and I saw some thumbs up. And what was your roll?
It was a 7. So I think that's a hit, especially with pluses.
It is, yes. So with your bonuses, you get to choose one, and you'll take +1 ongoing while following up on the information that is revealed. So the audience, or y'all, can reveal a crucial event going on outside of view. You can tell you how you might find love with a partner of their choosing, or the audience tells you how to get blank to blank. So,
Am I picking, or is this?
The audience is picking. I kind of wonder about a crucial event. would be cool.
That's the one that I'm thinking
Related
too.
to the letter. What do you think, cast?
What if Dr. Joe and JP are running into each other somewhere and forming an alliance?
Oh,
versus Ernesto.
As this letter is being read and you hear Ernesto and Adoncia really dig into what it means, what it could mean, our camera will roll outside and we see Dr. Joe and JP pass each other as JP is on his way to the boarding house to secure a room for a long-term stay. And you see he and Dr. Joe make eye contact. And it's a long eye contact. And you see Joe mention, like with his head, kind of tip his hat in the direction of his office outside of City Hall. And then we'll go on about his day. And if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't have seen it. But our audience on the couch, they're looking for it.
And is this something that is known to Ernesto? Like, even if it's just like, he knows that there's more guests at the boarding house, not necessarily who they are.
I think Ernesto, you wouldn't know about this scene happening because it's happening somewhere else. Mm-hmm. But you would definitely hear rumblings of JP staying in town.
Interesting.
So as this letter is passing hands and causing questions to swirl over at the saloon, Joaquin and Angel, what are you at the ranch? What are you up to?
If it's early in the day, we'd probably still be at the ranch working or having lunch if it's about that time.
Yeah. If it's lunchtime, we'll probably be underneath our tree.
Yeah.
There's a horse that is approaching with a single rider coming up the road, kind of dust flying behind the horse. And the horse will come to a stop kind of near the tree where you both take lunch. And you see a person in kind of a kind of suit that doesn't quite fit them, but is very nice, dismounting from the horse. And he's not the most graceful dismount. Doesn't seem like maybe they don't ride a horse a lot. You recognize this as Martin, the teller from the bank, a younger black mask person who is trying his damnedest to get down off the horse. And
I think Angel jumps off and like helps them get down.
Hi, Angel.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Good. I got on that horse and I thought I was going to figure out how to do it. I've just been doing so much walking.
You'll figure it out in no time, especially living here. You're doing great, though.
Well, thank you. Look, Ernesto told me to come find you. He said you had something to say. Wanted to talk to me.
Yeah, I think Angel just inhales deeply just because Ernesto didn't keep up his side and be like, hey, that Angel likes you, So Angel's like, yeah, I just, I see you around town and you look intriguing and cute and I just want to get to know you more. So maybe one day, whenever you're free from work, you want to go maybe get some drinks at the saloon?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to get a drink with you at the saloon. I work work kind of late, but I could ask Ernesto if I could take off early one of these nights. Is there a night that works for you?
I mean, all my days are pretty early just because, when the cows go home, I get to go home too. That saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually never met a cow before. Are they
Oh, you want to
soft?
meet one?
Are you sure? Is it dangerous?
No, they're fine. They're bumbling. Come on. And I think Angel will grab him by the hand, just nonchalantly, not even realizing ooh, the hand, a scandalo, but just grabbing his hand just cause it's there, and just dragging him along to the closest pen where some cows are, and while they're walking, just talking, and be and look at Joaquin and be like, hey, I might be late for lunch, just cover for me.
Okay, yeah, no, that's... He was probably in the middle of he has some huevos rancheros or something scooped up in a tortilla. He was about to bite, and he's just been watching. He's like, yeah, you have fun.
He's just gonna keep on walking.
Martin will kind of put their hand out to kind of boop the nose of the nearest cow, and I don't know. I don't want to frighten it. It's bigger than me.
Oh, first they're behind this pen. They can't get through. And then you see Angel sort of just sticking their hands between the things and just patting it on the nose, and then because cows love pets, just sort of nuzzles up against their hand and see, come on, put your hand here, and Angel will take his hand and put it on the nose of the cow.
It's so soft.
Yeah. They're they might be big and kind of bumbling, but they're really soft, sweet things that just wanted love and attention and your food. Yeah. I'm looking at you, and Angel looks at one further down, who's eyeing them, giving them the stink eye because I'm still mad at you about this morning, by the way, eating my tortillas. Mm-hmm.
Well, if you need more tortillas, I can. I mean, I'm not the best cook in the world, but I'm not the worst.
I am fine. Yeah, it was my breakfast, and I decided to eat it out here like adult, and therefore they decided to be it was their breakfast too. Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm just imagining a cow eating a tortilla.
Oh, they eat
It's
all
funny.
the things. Yeah, they'll eat And Anha quickly looks around and oh, where is the... And sees that there's one of the bags that are just hanging on the post with the apples in it. And pulls goes ay, hold on. And goes over and pulls the bag apple out and just puts it in Martine's palm. We're give it to them.
Okay. And
yeah, flat hand.
Oh,
make sure
okay.
your hand's flat. Yeah.
It flattens out a palm, and the cow just.
Yeah. Nom nom nom. It's just mouth noises and you know how cows are. All the crunch.
Oh, it's a very happy cow. You see the tail begin to flick back and forth, swatting the air in joy as this cow enjoys the apple stack. And Martin is just going to pull the hand back and kind of wipe it on his business trousers and just, wow, thank you for giving me that experience. I don't really feel like I've had the opportunity to really, be here in Novato City. I mean, I'm here, been here, but I haven't really been here.
Yeah, well, if you want to ever hang out sometime and get to know the ropes, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. Angel, are you demanding what you deserve?
I mean, maybe. Because, yeah, Angel deserves happiness and love and maybe a little flirtation here and there, damn it. Like,
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So are you offering something of value in return? Getting to know the town? I think so.
yeah, I'm offering experiences. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do they love you in this moment? I think a little bit. Yeah, I think a little bit. I think the kind of romance theme is playing in the background. And are you handling things with guile and head on?
I mean, being head on with this flirtation. Yeah, buddy.
All right, go ahead and roll +3.
Where did I put my dice? There's my dice. 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right. So you get to choose. Oh, I get to choose if targeting an NPC. They're going to definitely concede to you, and you will choose one from the remaining. Wait,
I remove one of your options. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Which option would you like to remove?
I think I just they refuse and no, they run a. I'm gonna mark out they refuse because I don't want to get a condition. Maybe just get a condition. Who knows?
So Martin is going to concede to you, and he's going to say, "I won't ride a horse, but tomorrow night I'm going to pick you up, and you're going to show me your favorite places in town." You see like this kind of surge of confidence that he has now after they fed this cow, and you can see their face kind of like, oh no, did I go too far? Right after it's out of their mouth.
And I think Angel just smiles just brightly. And they're like, make sure to wear something that you don't mind getting dirty.
Blush. Full face blush. You see his ears just kind of redden a little, and he'll be like, oh, okay.
Because we're going out into the desert a little bit, so, you know. But, yeah.
Of course. Great. I'm going to get back on this. I'm going to walk this horse back to town, and I will see you tomorrow night.
I'll see you then.
All right. And he kind of takes the horse and leads the horse back to town.
Yeah, and I think if Joaquin's still over there eating lunch, Angel just sort of like you know, like one of those like, oh, I'm so happy right now, sort of like walks like you're walking on air almost. Like we'll do like a little twirl and then like plop down next to Joaquin and like start and just sit back and sigh, happy.
So you don't look like you want to hit anything. That's good.
No, I mean, and just like seeing like oh, that's a different hit. Never mind. That's not. That's like you're like hit it. You know what? Never mind. I'm not going to explain myself. Yes, I don't want to punch anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, usually I'm the bumbling one. What was that?
I don't think I was bumbling, but I guess just right now my words were bumbling. Anyway, I don't know why I just want to do that really TikTok meme. Like, do you know what love is? Can we describe it to you?
Yeah.
No. I think Angel's like sort of like leaned up against the tree and like looking over at Joaquin and is like, you know, it just feels good to like have a date, be appreciated, courting. Like this might be something that might go somewhere. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I like this look on you. You look good.
Thanks, Lemmy. and will give you a little gentle push on the shoulder.
Kind of pushes back.
And pushes a little harder. Are they about to play wrestle? No, they're not probably about to play wrestle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's that mid-lunch wrestling that's happening. Joaquin probably wipes Angel along the floor because big boy.
Oh, gets you in a headlock real easy, real quick.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
As the wrestling continues, our camera flicks to the horse and Martin arriving at the bank, and the kind of heart filter, I guess not filter, the heart zoom out will happen on Martin, and then back on the wrestling back at the farm, linking the two of you. What's happening back in town? Adoncia, the boarding house that you live in currently, now alone. Sadly, your roommate is gone for the big city. You've got a new next door neighbor. You hear kind of movement in the room next to you. You hear kind of the scratch, something kind of scratchy, and then a small tune starts to play through the wall. Your new neighbor is not particularly quiet. What do you do?
Well, is it a jaunty tune?
Yeah, it's kind of old-fashioned, maybe a little jazzy.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm... Can I say that? I just remembered a filter. So, you know what? Here we are. I'm aroused and ashamed by the jazz music coming from next door. I feel intrigued, and also maybe I shouldn't be, and I already have enough feelings going on, but you know me, I'm driven by my heart and frankly by my booty a little bit. So I'm gonna meander over next door and introduce myself, as is just good etiquette. I can't imagine Miss Stick Up Her Butt would have a problem with that. What's her name?
Her name is Miss Betsy.
Miss Betsy would only want me to do my, good Christian duty and go over and introduce myself to the new neighbor. It's just neighborly. So I should go investigate. Knock, knock.
The music turns down just a little bit, and the door cracks open, and you see there at the door is JP, the elderly gentleman with kind of the long white mustache, immaculately kind of curled at the ends. He's wearing more of a business look, very put together today. His suits, he's got a pocket watch chain that you see. And he's got black gloves on his hands, like he was getting ready to head out the door. But he'll take those off. Yes, very Sam Elliott, absolutely. He'll kind of take those off. Doncia, dear, please come in. What brings you to my?
What a pleasure to see you again. What are you doing here in this boarding house?
Well, Miss Betsy is an old friend, and I just figured if I'm going to be in town for a while, I'm looking for a place, you see, and, well, all the places I'm looking at they're kind of full up right now, so I figured I'd just stay here temporarily until I settled.
Well, it's lovely to see your face again, and I want to thank you again for doing me such a kindness at the dance the other night. It ended up, well, just fine.
Do you want a cup of tea and tell me about it?
JP, I'd love to, but to be honest, I think I might be running a little behind to get myself to work. And Miss Betsy, it wouldn't do to be late.
That absolutely would not do to be late. He kind of laughs. You live at her boarding house and you work in her saloon. Well, aren't you a brave woman?
Well, I don't know about that. I just, I take a kindness where I can find it. I'm not from a terribly fortunate background, JP. I don't want to bore you with my life story. Let's just say the world hasn't always been kind to me. And, I can put up with a lot of firmness from Miss Betsy in exchange for a comfortable place to live and steady employment.
I see. Well, this is a mighty nice town you found yourself in.
Well, there are mighty nice things about it, certainly.
Yeah. I wonder if, I don't want to keep you, but I noticed that you talking with the very nice banker fellow, Ernesto.
Ernesto, yes. And in this moment, Adoncia remembers that she's encountered a troubling letter. And that maybe her new dear friend JP, who helped her out of a tight social spot at the dance, is not all kindness and goodness. Well, JP, now everyone knows Ernesto around here. He's what you might call a public figure. He holds a certain amount of sway. All that money and power don't mean a lot to a poor orphan girl like me. I've only just come into my first dress that isn't rags held together by some muddy string, so I don't know too much. But I imagine if there's anything you'd like to know about Ernesto or say to his face, perhaps you could certainly find him down the bank.
I mean, I could, but there's some things that men like Ernesto, they just don't talk about in front of a man like myself. And, I know a mighty fine dressmaker back in San Antonio. I'd be happy to, if you were to tell me anything you might have heard talking with Ernesto, I'd be happy to send her maybe your measurements.
Well, JP, my measurements, that's a little intimate. But, I've never had a nice dress before, and you have treated me with such kindness. I'm just not really rightly sure what's the best course here. I always try to act with goodness and rightness, and I just don't know. I think I'd like to process my feelings out loud.
All right, Adoncia. All right, audience. Are we rooting for Adoncia or are we rooting for JP? I'm getting some head shakes for JP. That's a big old no on Bankerman. Always rooting for Adoncia. Oh, someone's saying accept the dress. Okay.
Rooting for JP.
We've got one JP, but mostly Adoncia. So go ahead and roll +3, Adoncia.
All right, roll +3. Okie dokie. Is that a base of anything +3 or is it 3 total?
So roll your 2d6 and then
my 2d6 plus 3 mas. Plus 3 mas. Got it. I'm going to mute so I don't make too much noise. That's 15.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you get to take +1 ongoing while following up on the information. So we're going to set the scene where we follow the information that we come up with immediately. So, Adoncia and the audience, you get to either reveal a crucial event going on outside of you. The audience tells Adoncia how she might find love with a partner of their choosing. The audience tells Adoncia how to get something she wants or something to blank. So maybe get the dress anyway without giving away Ernesto, or I don't know. How are we feeling, audience and cast?
I like subverting JP. So I think it'd be fun to tell Doncia / Friday how to get the dress without revealing secrets.
I do really want the dress.
I want good things for Adoncia, so I also want Adoncia to get the dress, but also Ro, what do you think?
Also get the dress, but trying to shift. I don't know. Maybe bring up the doctor somehow, make him more involved.
Like very excellent, because then it's more complications with more potentially dastardly men.
Yes, let's involve all the dastards.
Let me simplify this situation by making it actually super more complicated.
If that isn't every telenovela ever, I don't know what else is.
Classic.
It was either that or maybe even Joaquin just having a twin brother. I don't know, but the doctor makes it more complicated.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. Very well.
Maybe you tell me about the doctor, I'll tell you something about Ernesto, but I want that dress. Or you tell me something about the doctor first and get me that dress, and we'll see what's going on.
Maybe let's complicate situations by bringing the doctor into it conversationally and hope to distract from Ernesto. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll look over there at that other guy. Don't you worry about this guy. I'm already conflicted about him, and I really want to circle back to that feeling later. So let me just put that over there. Okay. Can I complicate this? Great. All right. Well, now, JP, I do love accepting gifts kindly offered by friends. It's only good manners. And while there's only so much I can really say about Ernesto, he's a complicated gentleman, I did get the distinct impression that, well, there was a secret history of some sort, perhaps between him and the doctor. And I feel that maybe Dr. Joe would have more information about Ernesto. You know, Ernesto plays things close to the vest. Well, maybe you don't know, but I know. And he hasn't really shared too much of himself. It's my impression that the doctor is a much more sharing and open type gentleman.
You see JP just kind of get very pensive, and he'll stir his cup. The doctor, he's new in town, isn't he?
In a way, though, word around the saloon is that the doctor isn't so much new in town as returned to town.
Now that is interesting. Well,
maybe It's not my way to gossip, JP, pero I think it's important that you know that if anyone's going to have information you're looking for, rather than a poor orphan girl who's only just now started to maybe make some friends and have some social connections, just meager, modest ones, it might be the very charming gentleman who seems so free and easy with, well, everyone and has previous connections here in town.
I see. Wow. I might just be feeling a little bit... There's all this dust, you know. Maybe a checkup is in my best interest. Thank you, Adoncia.
You do look a mite feverish.
Best get that checked out right away.
Oh, I think.
You're a good friend.
Well, a good friend who may or may not have some seamstress tape in her room she could borrow from a roommate. I might find a little note under your door later with my measurements, JP.
How about this? I'll give you her address, and you just and I'll just write on the envelope who sent you, and I won't have to know anything too intimate, Miss Adoncia.
Well, that's very gentlemanly of you, and I appreciate it.
He'll hold the door for you on the way out, and you see him pull on those black gloves as he struts toward
little
city
curtsy,
center.
Please. How civilized. All right, and off to work to pretend I didn't just do that.
It's getting complicated. I love it. Joaquin, what's going on with you this the start of this episode?
Probably. I'm not sure. Would we work if we didn't work every day? Joaquin probably takes time for himself to just wander the fields and consider as much as a himbo considers. Just figuring out what he's doing. Because he doesn't he's still figuring things out, especially now in a town where he met his twin brother, who is way more successful than he is, and doesn't quite know what to do with himself.
As you wander, you see a couple of your fellow workers. You see the owners of the ranch, Michael and Ricardo, kind of working side by side, kind of talking to each other. You have a clear view of the road as well, and you see a woman in a black. It looks like a cloak and maybe a veil, a black veil, walking up the road carrying kind of a suitcase. And then you see, who else would you see? Oh, yes, you see Abel, the rancher, who is supposed to be getting the cows ready for going back into the barn for the evening. But you see that they're practicing making a lasso and roping hay bales. So that's kind of the view from the farm that you see. And then, of course, the almost endless stream of yellow roses that lead down to the river.
Noticing that Adoncia has been sad for a few days, Joaquin is going to pick a small bouquet of roses and bring them to her.
As you wrap up your day, your rose bouquet in hand, you open the doors of the saloon where Adoncia is hard at work, slinging the drinks and wiping down the bar.
Adoncia? I don't want to interrupt you while you're working. I just noticed you were sad since Rosa left, so I brought you these, and just kind of holds out the bouquet, and he picked all the thorns off as he was walking into town, so none of them have thorns on them or anything. They're all clean.
Joaquin, aren't you just the sweetest friend? Thank you so much. I have been down. It's Rosa. She left so sudden, and I'm not sure when she'll be back. I'm happy for her, getting to go sing and share that beautiful voice and that beautiful face, and that beautiful in a beautiful big city. It's wonderful. I just sure wish I knew when she'd be back.
Yeah, waiting for someone is not fun ever. But I mean, at least you got the rest of us, and we'll keep you company while you wait for her.
Oh, Joaquin, you're always so good to me. I can't tell you what your friendship has meant these past few years.
And I appreciate you, Adoncia.
Now, Joaquin, I saw you talking with Lainey at the barn dance. You seem to be getting awfully close. I think that's sweet. Do you make plans?
I mean, usually we're so busy at the farm, I don't make plans often, but maybe she invited us to poker night, so maybe one of these nights we'll head over. Sounds like a lot of fun. Lainey's lovely.
Lainey's the best. Yeah, and if she invites you to her poker night, I mean, she must think awfully highly of you. And why wouldn't she? I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, I I just wanted to stop by and bring these for you. Seeing you sad makes me sad. So
Thank you, Joaquin. You're like the other half of my heart.
and you're the other half of mine.
Oh, I like to put my flowers in a broken bottle that hadn't quite made it out back to the trash heap. I don't have a vase. It's not fancy, but I got a broken sarsaparilla bottle. Put my yellow roses.
It works.
Yeah. Yeah.
As the camera kind of zooms in on the sarsaparilla bottle, a little bit chipped, but with the beautiful yellow rose blooming out of it, it kind of frames the scene of Joaquin and Adoncia. And then you see the saloon doors open yet again, and in the setting sun, you see a familiar silhouette of everyone's favorite villain, Ernesto. And I think that's where we're going to go for a quick commercial break. So don't change the channel. We'll be back with more Rosas y Pistolas in about 10 minutes. So catch you all in just a bit. Hi, folks. Welcome back to Rosas y Pistolas, our telenovela actual play of Pasión de las Pasiones. We are back and we are in the saloon in the town of Navarro City, where Ernesto has just made quite the appearance. We see his silhouette against the setting sun as he flings open the saloon doors of the Joyful Heart, where Adoncia is working. Joaquin and Angela are enjoying a post-work drink. And Ernesto, what are you doing here at the Joyful Heart this evening?
There is an unusual energy about Ernesto that people who are familiar with him know that means that he's up to some mischief. It's not always something that leaves people hurting, but this is a similar energy to the energy that he had the day before the doctor and the previous head banker, who were once in the town, suddenly, let's say, went away. And he takes this unusual abundance and he nods at some of his compatriots who are currently situated throughout the salon. And he heads over to a quiet corner where he waits to be served by Adoncia.
Absolutely. Ernesto's usual, daintily balanced on a tray.
When Adoncia arrives, the camera just sort of focuses on Ernesto, and there's a strange glint in his eye as he acknowledges the little lady, and he smiles at her, and he's like, "So I've been thinking a lot about that letter, and I've been thinking about what it might foretell for someone quite as innocent as you. So I have a rather unusual gift today." And at that point, he gestures for Adoncia to sit down for a moment.
Okay.
When Adoncia sits down, Ernesto just like quietly smiles, and he slips an unloaded gun into her hand. There's no bullets inside of it or anything, but he waits to see if Adoncia recognizes the item that he's just given her.
Well, Adoncia's shocked face will certainly let him know. Quickly sliding the gun under her apron and attempting to compose herself, not entirely gracefully. Ernesto, why would you give me this?
Ernesto quietly looks at Adoncia and smiles rather not quite a predatory smile, or at least the predatory aspect of the smile isn't aimed towards her, but rather towards the newcomers to town. And he just looks at her and he's like, "Well, you see, these strangers that have been coming into our entire little territory, they represent dangers. And I'm a dangerous man. I'll be forthcoming about this. I'm someone who's no stranger to violence. But you see, they might try to strike at the heart of our little city here, the heart of our values, by doing sneaky things and enacting violence, not on people who are powerful and in the know like myself, but by sweet, innocent little things like yourself. The gun that you have is not one that is loaded, but there's a lot of power in a gun. And I don't intend to give you bullets for that gun just yet. Before I do that, I want to teach you how to use it privately, so that way if you ever need it, you know how to defend yourself. But right now, if a stranger comes and accosts you, the very fact that you have that gun will not only give you confidence. If you show it at a vital moment, it might just give you the ability to dissuade any attackers, even without violence. Because I am not afraid of violence, but I don't believe in random acts of brutality. My sort of violence is, it's almost artful. It's tasteful in how it's used to achieve my goals and to protect the people that I care about. And I'm revealing a little bit of a weakness here, but I do care about you. I don't want anything to happen to you.
Why, Ernesto? I simply had no idea. I do feel a bit safer knowing that you're looking out for me, and I certainly wouldn't feel comfortable putting any bullets in this gun without knowing how to wield it. I would be happy to take you up on your offer to learn to shoot this, but goodness, Ernesto, I'm shaking.
Ernesto quietly smiles at Adoncia and is like, it's a shame to see someone as pretty as you feeling afraid. And I will always do what I can to keep you safe, but I feel safer. My heart feels a certain stillness and confidence, knowing that if I can't be there to keep you safe, you have at least the slightest chance of surviving if someone else calamitous decides to make you a victim.
Well, thank you, Ernesto. When shall we meet?
At this point, Ernesto just quietly smiles and is like, why don't you tell me a night that you're free? And we'll go over to my home and and we'll practice there. So that way only people who deserve to know that you know how to use that gun.
Well, now, Ernesto, I can see your logic, but you must know that being alone at your house late at night, just you and I and a gun, well, it's hardly maidenlike, and I'd like to have a chaperone.
At this point, Ernesto quietly strokes his beard in contemplation, and then he gives you a dastardly, impish smile and is like, "Huh, it's very amusing to me that you're confessing that you've thought about us alone in your private time, but I can see the logic that you're putting down here. If you feel that you can trust someone enough that they can come to this event, I will allow this."
Very well. Then I would like to demand what I deserve, please.
Yes, absolutely. Are you offering something of value in return?
Can I offer a suggestion as for what you're offering? Because I think that you are. I think that Adoncia's company is something that Ernesto values.
I think Adoncia's trust is something Ernesto values. I think, yes, I am offering something in return. If you're willing to accept my choice of chaperone, then I'll know that you're more trustworthy than idle gossip would make you out to be.
Ernesto has no problem with that.
And does Ernesto love Adoncia in this moment?
I'll say yes. I'm not sure if love is the right word generally, but in this moment, yeah.
And
not
Adoncia?
A friendship gun. Yes.
Are you in over your head?
Always, siempre.
Okay, siempre. That's going to be +3. Go ahead and roll that 2d6 +3.
Excellent.
This is so scandalous. I love it.
10.
Ooh, okay. So
Nice.
you get to remove one of those options of they concede to you, they can clear a condition, they refuse and escalate, mark condition, or they run away, you take something from them. You get to scratch one of those completely off the map.
The first one. They concede to you and they can clear a condition. Not an option.
Ernesto, you either have to refuse and escalate, and Adoncia will mark a condition, or you run away and take something from Adoncia.
Dang, what's funny is I feel like Ernesto Ernesto is an eminently reasonable sort of person most of the time. So I feel like he wouldn't really do either of these things. But I'm trying to think of a fun way to escalate this because that feels like a funner way to respond to this.
Yeah, she kind of just slapped your heart. Like you're like, I trust you and I like you. And she's like, no. I need
alternately, what if the chaperone I insist upon is someone who is unacceptable to you?
I can think of at least two people, one of whom is a player character. Yep. That Ernesto would like balk at. So if you want that, yeah, let's run with that one.
I like it. If you want my trust, you'll allow. Are we talking Angel?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll allow me to bring Angel as my chaperone.
There's a quiet moment where Ernesto just like takes in those words. And internally, and to the audience, people can just sort of hear like a quiet rage within his like mental utterances. Because in this moment, Ernesto has done something that is very unheard of for Ernesto. He's been genuinely vulnerable and revealed that he has a passion, a fire in his heart for someone, which is something that people know that he doesn't even for his own twin. So now to see this, and that's not to say that Ernesto it's not to say that Ernesto dislikes his twin. He doesn't, but he has a passion for Adoncia, and this does feel like a snub. So at this point, Ernesto just like glances at Adoncia, and there's like a fire, a heat in his vision, and he's just like, it's always that asshole. It's what is it with the people in this town and Angel? I know that I'm not fun to be around, but I don't. Does it have to be Angel? And he just like whispers this through like gritted teeth.
Angel has always made me feel very safe. We're quite close. And, well, to be honest with you, Ernesto, I know you have a strained relationship and it would be a real gesture.
So am I supposed to flatly refuse this? Or is this a thing that I can concede? It's just like a moment of rage.
I think if that's what you think Ernesto would do, go for it. Also, I love the drama. It's good.
So Ernesto is going to wait. At this point, is Angel in the bar?
Everyone's in the bar.
Yeah,
okay.
I was kind of like
sitting at the bar itself, like
tequila.
Okay. At this point, Ernesto is going to just like visibly look across the bar, and he's going to momentarily lock eyes with Angel, and there's going to be like a moment of just heat that I'm assuming Angel probably doesn't understand. But
honestly, they might think you're just flirting with them, so like it's fine. And like they'll just like raise a glass to you and give you a wink and just sip it.
So internally, Ernesto is just going to like quietly say, "Stupid, sexy Angel." Well, Ernesto's pansexual. It's the new canon. And then he's going to look at Adoncia, and he's just going to say, if it can't be Joaquin, if it must be Angel, then I suppose that this is acceptable for the sake of you feeling safe and able to trust me. But I do hope you understand just how generous I am being in this moment.
Well, Ernesto, you've really shown me a lot of your heart today, and I appreciate that. I accept and I see you.
And at that point, Ernesto is just going to politely nod at you, and then to just like raise the glass to Ernesto in a very vague. He's going to raise the glass to himself, which honestly feels like an Ernesto thing to do. He's going to raise the glass to Angel in a gesture that Angel does not understand given the context, but is very polite, and then he's just going to quietly slink back and start to eat his food.
Ernesto, because of the way we went with this demand what you deserve rule, you are actually going to mark a condition. I read that funky. So you are going to mark a condition. Which condition are you choosing? Aren't you already raging?
Yes, I am already raging, which is part of the reason why there was a moment where Ernesto was like, should I really do this? I'm going to say, for the sake of like transparency, that I will mark righteous, because in this moment, Ernesto definitely feels like he isn't getting what he deserves, but he thinks that it's worth it long term for the sake of conquistando a Doncia.
Ooh. So these conditions, once you get to 4 of them, the character who is playing the playbook has a meltdown, which is very high drama and very fun. So if you would like to add more conditions onto our players here, you can go ahead and click that donate button. And our goal is 500 and we are at 112, which is amazing. Thank you all so much for your support. Just had to do that little plug there because it seemed like a good time. All right. It's tense here in the Joyful Heart tonight, as Doncia and Ernesto have this conversation. Joaquin and Angel, what are you up to in the bar tonight? And I think Lainey is also here, as well as the young woman you saw walking up the road. She's not drinking. She is wearing kind of a nun's habit, and she's reading in the corner. And you also see Belle, you, the newspaper reporter, and the photographer. And she's kind of setting up a camera in the corner, getting ready to take some like portraits for a small fee. And that's kind of what's going on. It's very quiet here. The player piano was going, but other than that, we're missing the dulcet tones of Rosa.
Hey, Angel, what was that about?
What was that? What about?
That look Ernesto keeps giving you.
I actually don't know, to be quite frank. I think you may like me. Which, I just gotta get myself ready. He's a rich guy. Maybe he can, like, take pity on me, like, if we do date. I don't know. We'll see.
He's
not really, like... Well, go ahead.
He's my twin.
You're a very handsome guy too. So like obviously it just runs in the family. And I think that's when Angel's like, oh shit, that's right. It just takes another sip of their drink. They're like, but I honestly don't know. I do think he's hitting on me. Past that, don't say. Like,
you think a lot of people hit on you, Angel?
What would you explain what he just did then? Like, what would you call that?
I'm not good at these things.
Just try, just guess, just toss an idea out.
I mean, he looks at you with more contempt than he does me.
Yeah, now you say that. He doesn't even, like, look... Aren't you supposed to be, like, family or something? Like, aren't you supposed to, be, like, close or, talking? Like...
Before I moved here, I didn't know he existed.
And see, now this is the perfect time for y'all to spend time together and get to know each other, and catch up of all those years past.
Like, through this entire conversation, like, Joaquin keeps looking, like, kind of worried at Adoncia just because she doesn't usually sit at her job. So she's like, what do you think they're talking about?
I don't know. I honestly have no idea what's going on over there. What do you think you're talking about?
I don't know. But I'm worried about Adoncia.
Why?
Well, because she's been so sad, and because Adoncia and I are a lot alike. Everything's new and pretty, and we get confused really easily, and a lot of new stuff has happened. I don't know.
What kind of stuff's happened?
Well, I mean, there's a new doctor, there's a new guy, new people in town.
I mean, small towns grow. People come and go. That's what happens here. People have come and go since ever. I mean, you came. You know, you added to the change to happen here. So.
Yeah, but something just feels wrong, maybe? But what do I know? I'm not that smart.
Hey, stop.
Who knows?
You might know. You might be onto something that not anybody else is, and you have some sort of insight. Are you family? Do you know much about your family at all? Do you think they have like some brujeria in their backstory, or?
Doesn't everyone think their abuela is a bruja?
No, not mine. Definitely not mine.
Oh no, I just remember mine rubbing a chicken egg on my forehead all the time.
Oh, yeah. I forgot what that's called. No, I've seen people do that. That did not happen in our family. What's that called? Anywho, see, it might be passed down. So maybe you just know things. Like maybe your feelings right. So don't put yourself down like that.
Okay. I appreciate you, Angel.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. You know, you've been a good friend. And I think you deserve more, and I wish you thought yourself about how much you do deserve, because you got good things for you, kid. Like, you deserve happiness and, you know, everything that you need in your life.
Thanks. Does the gentle shove.
Look, and don't see him get mad at us if we start like doing this here.
Yeah, no, there's breakable things, you're right.
And Angel shoves back, just, you know, another gentle shove, finishes their drink, and walks outside.
Angel, as you walk outside, you see somebody leaned up against the side of the bar.
Oh.
It's dark. It's just starting to get dark, and the hat will kind of pull up, and you see Dr. Joe is there.
Oh, Doctor. What are you doing out here? Why aren't you inside?
You know, I was just breathing in the fresh air, as you do. What brings you out so early? Night's young, and so are you.
I mean, just sometimes you just gotta walk away and take a walk around the block before you go back in for another round.
That's fair. Hey, you know, I was meaning to chat with you. You seem to know what's going on, who's going on, that kind of thing around town.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call myself I wouldn't say I know all the chisme, but like I know what's happening. What are you interested in?
I've been trying to talk to Ricardo, just me and him, one-on-one, since I got back, and he just doesn't want to talk to me. I was wondering if maybe you knew a little something about what he does with his day, where he goes.
Other than that, he's married?
When has that ever stopped anybody?
It stops him quite often. He's a happily married man.
Well, maybe those aren't my intentions.
Okay, I mean, he has the farm. ¿Qué quieres más? So, like, what do you want more of?
I just want to talk to him.
Well, and I think Angel, like, sticks their hands in their pockets and, like, walks in and just does a sort of situation, like, kicks a little bit, like, a rock out of the way, and it's like, escúchame, I just don't think he wants to talk to you.
Oh, yeah? Are you sure it's not that husband of his getting in the way? In more ways than just one.
No, I don't think so. Because if he would have wanted to talk to you, he would have done it by now.
All right. See, you won't be as much help as I thought you would be, and that is a damn shame.
Ugh. Right. Well, good luck with whatever you're trying to do. And Angel's just gonna like walk past. Maybe do like a quick little shoulder brush as they're walking past.
He's gonna kind of grab your shoulder a little bit.
Okay.
And just say, "You don't want me as your enemy. You hear me?"
I think Angel looks back at him and be like, and just gives a smirk. And it's not like their usual smooth smirk. It's actually like something that Doncia maybe seen like maybe once. So like it's something like from way back in the day. And it's just like a smirk of like, you don't know my past. You don't know what I can capable of. It's full of confidence and like, try me. And they'll just look at him, shrug off their hand, and just keep walking.
You see him kind of give up, angrily make his way into the bar.
And that's where Anjo just chuckles and just like keeps on walking.
I love it. All right. What's everyone else doing in the bar?
Well, I would like to actually use one of my moves, the keys to the castle move, to reveal I was secretly listening in on all of that. So now I have the chisme and a gun, I guess. I'm the most powerful bitch in this place.
Right, so you do work here.
I do work here. Yeah.
Are you dressed to blend in?
Yeah, I'm a freaking barmaid in like a stained shitty dress. Like, I'm an absolute background character in my own mind, at least. Everyone else seems in love with me, but yeah, I blend in.
Okay, so go ahead and roll. Oh, and are you in over your head?
Yeah, that's way too much information that I didn't need.
All right, and then
involving friends and people I care about who have treated me well. OMG, yes.
So, and you also have your +1 forward specifically about the letter, which referenced Joe. So go ahead and roll +4, Adoncia.
That's right. Power moves. Oh, thank God, that was a terrible roll. I still end up with only 8. I was so smug. I've been rolling great this whole game.
All right. So you hear everything. You get away, but somebody saw you. Was it Angel or was it Dr. Joe? Or was it someone else?
Dr. Joe.
Okay. Yeah. So you see, as Angel walks away, Dr. Joe looks like he's going to walk away. He starts to go to try and follow them for a second, and then he decides better of it, turns on his heel of his very nice boots, and meets your eyes directly through the window. And then he starts coming into the bar. What are you doing, Adoncia?
Well, I'm just going to shimmy myself right back behind the bar, where I have not only a broken bottle full of roses, but also a secret gun. It's not loaded, but I was just told directly that it would at least scare the crap out of someone. And this guy doesn't seem like good news anymore. He was very handsome, but I'm beginning to think that doesn't mean that he's nice. So I'm going to shimmy behind the bar and set myself between this broken sarsaparilla bottle full of roses and get my hand on my gun under my apron. Just keep an eye on him.
All right. He's going to move into the bar now, a little more casual, a little more suave. He's going to kind of walk up to the bar, just kind of casually rolling up the sleeves. He has a small kind of doctor's bag still in his hand that he's carrying from work, and will just kind of slide up to the bar and address you, Doncia. He'll say, well, do I have a regular yet? Do you know my order yet? Or
well, now, Dr. Joe, you've only been in the one time, and I believe it was a whiskey. Yes.
So you do remember. You're a very smart woman, Adoncia.
I'm a professional doctor. Pour him a whiskey that's maybe just a little bit light on the pour because I'm not too happy with him right now.
He'll take the whiskey and just say, in my profession, we have something called doctor-patient agreement. So if you came to me with an embarrassing injury or something you wouldn't want getting out or around, I'm legally obligated not to say anything. I wonder if something like that exists for your profession.
Well, now, doctor, I believe I've heard of this. It's called what? The Hippocratic Oath? Is that right?
Something like that.
Yeah, now that doesn't exist in the saloon world. And I mean, you know me, I didn't even get much learning. I'm not a fancy doctor like you. What do I know? I'm just a lowly barmaid.
What would something like that be worth to you, Adoncia?
What, hiding a secret like a grievous injury, for example, that you found embarrassing and you wouldn't want to get out? Something that might damage your reputation, perchance?
Especially one so fresh and new in town.
Oh, yes, and very tidy. Absolutely, doctor. Well, now, if there were anything to say, I suppose the kindly and mutually obliging thing to do would be for the offending party to simply, well, I don't know, remove themselves from the situation, maybe move on to the next town.
Oh, are you striking out at Dr. Joe?
I am. I'm mad at him.
All right.
I poured him a light whiskey, and he's being vaguely condescending and threatening, and I do not care for it one bit.
Okay, have they caught you off guard? Or have you caught them off guard? Yes.
Well, I think so, because I'd like to toss a whiskey in his face.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I haven't thrown a drink at anyone yet. I work here. Come on. I'm ready.
Absolutely caught him off guard. He has just wronged you. Are you in over your head, Anuncia?
100%. I only barely know what's going on. I'm reacting purely emotionally.
Go ahead and roll 2d6 plus 4 because you still have that +1 going forward until this letter situation.
Better. 9. One better than last time.
All right. So your strike lands. You each mark a condition. So you and Joe will mark a condition. And tell me how this goes down as you throw this drink right into this doctor's face.
Absolutely. Well, I was simply beside myself. He's been insulting. He's been condescending. He's been overtly and casually, disrespectful and threatening. And I've had enough, frankly, from people who think they're too good for me. So I'll just pick up the whiskey that he's barely touched and splash it in his face. I hope it hits him in his fool eyes. And I'll stare him down. And I got nothing else to say. I think I've pretty much worn myself out in terms of indignation, and now here I am.
As the whiskey splashes across his face, his hat gets knocked to the floor, and you see it kind of spin and fall, and now like soaking up some of the whiskey that's fallen to the ground. The glass is shattered. The ice cubes are just melting next to his foot, and he's kind of wiping it out of his eyes, just kind of
I would like to. I'm still at the bar, by the way. I would like to physically come between them and shove him back.
All right. So you are
my big best friend. I love you.
Joaquin, you are also striking out at Dr. Joe. Yes, you've caught him off guard. Has he just wronged you?
Yeah, because he wronged Adoncia enough to strike at him. She doesn't do that.
Okay. And are you using what is your question? Are you taking advantage of your twin's reputation?
Maybe because with the whiskey in his eyes, he couldn't tell which one of us it would be, because we would look the same at this moment, probably.
Yeah, okay, so you're leaning into the kind of Ernesto stance?
Yeah.
Well, he's mixed them up before, so it's probably not even hard to confuse him about those.
I'm going to there is a thing that I'm getting ready to do, but I'm going to point out that Ernesto is still at the saloon.
He absolutely is.
He had no point left the saloon. He stayed at his seat and he was quietly eating his food. He is now preparing to do something. He's thinking of if he should take advantage of this moment to potentially deal a lasting injury. So there's a very real chance he will strike out as well, but he is watching.
Okay, Joaquin, go ahead and roll your 2d6 and add 3.
Add 3, okay.
Yeah, because you hit all of those conditions.
9.
9, all right. How do you want your hit to what are you doing to Dr. Joe?
Basically, I want to just shove my way in between the two of them, and just shove him hard enough that he kind of hits a table behind him.
All right, you the glass kind of crunches under your boots, and the ice kind of goes skidding across the bar. Everyone is looking over at this point as you shove Dr. Joe, and his back hits the table, and he kind of goes right over it. And now he's lying very undignified, on his back on this table, like a turtle. People are starting to kind of and move away. Some people are just getting into it, ready. Oh, we're bar fighting. We're having a bar fight now. You see some people rolling up their sleeves, getting ready to join in. Yeah. Ernesto, what are you doing?
Ernesto is watching this moment, and they're he is loving the fact that he is not the center of attention in this particular moment. His sicarios are at the saloon as well, so he's actually going to look to one of them, and he's gonna nod in a really subtle gesture. And then he's actually going to go and he is going to do something devious. He's actually going to go and offer the doctor a hand. He's not going to try and intercede, but when everything is down, he's going to go and he's going to help the doctor up.
Okay, so you are sending your sicarios into one of your sicarios into hold back Joaquin, or
yeah, he actually Ernesto is going to get up and he's going to go walk over to the doctor and offer them a hand up, while motioning for one of his sicarios named Santiago to hold back his twin. As he does this, he's going to look at Joaquin, and he's going to chuckle, and he's going to be like, "This isn't how we do violence in our family. I see that I might need to offer you a bit of an education as well." And then he's going to help up the doctor while looking at him apologetically and saying, "You'll have to excuse my hermano. He's a bit of a handful."
I don't need to be taught how to defend my friends.
And Ernesto is just going to chuckle at that as he helps the doctor up to his feet.
As you kind of reach your hand out to Dr. Joe, you see him kind of recoil, like, thinking you recognize the mix-up that he is doing actively right now. And as he sees double after just taking a hit to the head, multiple hits to the head, actually, he sees double, and you can tell that he's like looking between you and Joaquin, like, are they both real? But eventually he will grasp your hand and let himself be pulled up and just kind of angrily start like fixing his coat, and he will fix you with a look, Joaquin, even though you're being held back right now by a very burly sicario. And he'll just say, this isn't over. This isn't over. We'll settle this like gentlemen.
Ernesto is at this point, Ernesto is definitely going to intercede, and he's going to like malevolently chuckle, and he's going to be like, I think that we're going to find another way to settling this like gentlemen. My brother he's so many noble things, God's bless his heart, but he is calling him a gentleman maybe someday. So I am going to politely suggest that you and I come to some sort of other restitution. In fact, why don't I help you back to your room?
Can you... I'm trying to decide if I want you to roll or if I should be rolling. Because he wants to... Yeah, go ahead and roll for demand what you deserve, because you're changing his mind on something. He was about to do something. So
cool. I get a plus to that. I get an ambient plus to that because of my condition, because of the condition I marked. Ooh. Let me go ahead and roll those. I am interceding on behalf of my brother, but everyone knows it's really on my own behalf. And that said, I am going to get a 9. I rolled an 8, and I have an ambient +1 to this because of my condition.
Nice. And I think you're also getting a +1 for offering something of value in return. Nice. And are you, what is yours?
I am taking control. So that means that I actually get 2 additional. Let me look back. So I got an 8. So I got like an 11, I think, because I had +3. Nice.
That is correct. So I'm going to remove the option of refusing and escalating. He's either going to concede or run away and take something from you.
I actually need to check my playbook because I might have So I have an actual fun move for this situation. I have Plata o Plomo, which is when you demand what you deserve and you have the physical upper hand, they mark an extra condition if they don't concede to your will. And in this situation, not only do I have my brother, who in this situation probably isn't on my side, but if this doctor decides to escalate, it's definitely going to be the two of us versus him. I also have sicarios here. So I
think he sees this. You see his face just contort in rage as he looks over the scene. He sees you. He sees Joaquin. He sees the hearts and minds of the people like rushing to help Adoncia, who has just thrown a drink in his face. Like, he is not popular in this moment, and I think he knows that. So he's going to concede. You can clear a condition, Ernesto. Yeah, since you won this demand what you deserve fight. He'll just kind of brush his hands off against his jeans. Just fine.
I will go ahead and unmark raging, which was the condition that I had marked last time. So that is very fun for me because I definitely thought I was going to be the first person to have a meltdown.
Could still happen. You don't know.
Oh, it definitely could, but it's funny to me that it got a little bit easier. Cleared that. And at this point, I am going to offer to take the good doctor away from the situation. And I am going to see if we can't come to a mutually beneficial agreement so that way he isn't tempted to strike out against Joaquin again or in the future.
Are you taking this? Are you taking the doctor away by yourself, or is Joaquin coming with you?
Joaquin, do you want to be here in this situation?
Absolutely not.
That's valid. Okay, in that case, it will definitely be just me. And if anyone else wants to come along, they're more than welcome to. But if not, it's just me, a sicario, and the doctor. No violence here, but we're definitely prepared.
Well, that was exciting. Angel, where did you go? Did you go home? Did you come back when you heard breaking glass? What was going on for you?
I think honestly they were just taking a walk around the block just to stretch out their legs a little bit, and as a pro drinker that they are, got your body moving like in between drinks, so you're not like just eventually standing up and you just water legs, So it's part of their drinking rituals. They usually just walk around the block and then they come back in. So yeah, I think as they're rounding the corner though, that's whenever they see Ernesto and Joe walk out, and so they're just looking. And somehow Angel acquired a cigarette. Like somewhere Angel got a cigarette. Usually they don't smoke, but like tonight was a smoking night, and they're just like smoking their cigarette as like they're walking up and just watching the two leave.
So as Ernesto passes Angel by, he looks at them. He smirks, and remembering the earlier conversation that he had with Adoncia, he looks over at Angel and he's just like, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a bit of free advice. Do everyone a favor and have a brief conversation with Adoncia. I think you'll find that it is in her best interest, and it'll definitely amuse you too to hear what she has to talk to you about. And then he's going to continue walking with the doctor, just a funny smirk on his face, even though there's like a bit of rage underneath it.
Okay, bye. And that's all they're gonna say as they walk in with a cigarette in hand, just smoking, and see the. Like that one meme from Community where the guy goes to get the pizza and he turns around and everything's on fire?
Yeah.
I think it's what Angel looks into, and they're like, what happened? Just has the cigarettes in their hand. They're just like.
You see Joaquin being like, kind of facing off against men as one of Ernesto's sicarios, who's just like this very large, muscular man, all dressed in black. You see Adoncia behind the bar, kind of still shaking from her rage, with just a shattered drink in front of the bar, ice cubes everywhere. You see the young nun in the back just like praying. She's just doing her rosary. She's so
I'm just trying to sit here and read.
Yeah. Some of the other patrons are like trying to clean up a little bit. Someone's kind of asking Adoncia, are you okay? There's a lot of like care, but also a lot of just weird energy in this bar.
Yeah.
That you watch back in on.
I think once Angel gets a handle of stuff, Angel sees one of the Sicarios and is like, taps them on the shoulder and just gives them the thumb to leave. Like, just like, your boss isn't here anymore. Go. Be a good dog. Oh, see, you growl like one too. Now go. Shoo.
We'll take off.
And then Angel's gonna like pat Joaquin on the shoulder, be like, "¿Qué pasa? What happened here?"
All I know is Adoncia threw a drink at the doctor, and I shoved him, and then Ernesto was fucking Ernesto and got in the way.
Ernesto. And like Angel's just shaking their head as like they're raising up a high five to get to Adoncia for like throwing the drink in Joe's face.
Half-assed high five. I'm not terribly proud of myself, Angel. You know I don't lose my temper like that, but well, I'll tell you because I adore you. I overheard how nasty that Dr. Joe was being with you, and I didn't care for it. I just got overcome.
Well, I appreciate you. And he deserved it for sure. And you know what? You need to. I like that about you. You know, sometimes you don't need to be it, but whenever you do, Mija, you're like a little fire spark. It's so nice.
Well, you know, I think sometimes people like to forget. I grew up on the streets around here, and occasionally, growing up on the streets as a scrappy young orphan, you do what you have to do.
Of course, yeah, I know that.
I don't like to show that side of myself.
I remember that one time you punched that boy in the face when we were like children, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to think about it, but yeah.
I do. It makes me happy.
Well, you're incorrigible.
I know I'm encouraging you. It's okay.
All right, I feel a little less shaky now, Angel.
And then Angel's going to be like, all right, I guess we'll just sticks a cigarette in their mouth and just starts like picking glass off the counter delicately, like to make sure that no one cuts themselves.
Oh, and my nice flowers were in there. Shoot, I'm sorry, Joaquin. Those were just beautiful.
As long as you're okay, Doncia, that's all that matters.
Thank you.
I can always pick you more.
No, they just plumb got knocked over. Broken glass, broken bottle, broken everything. Broken hearts a little.
Who's breaking hearts here? Hold on. What did I miss more than I was expected? Okay, like.
Speaking of friendship, Angel, I do have an awfully big favor to ask you.
That's a transition. Okay.
Look, Angel's not quite ready to reveal about the conflict in her own heaving bosom about Rosa and Ernesto and Dr. Joe and all of these things. She's just too overwhelmed. So that's fine. We'll just move on. Deflect that real quick. And now I know that you and Ernesto have a complicated relationship, but well, I would love it if you would chaperone for me. There's certain errands that need to be attended to over at Ernesto's at night, and well, I might not come from much, but I do have my virtue to protect, and I trust you.
Ernesto's at night?
I know. This is why I need a chaperone. It's unseemly, but...
It is unseemly. He asked you to come over at night.
But he agreed to allow me a chaperone, and no offense, but even if that chaperone was you.
No offense taken. I know he doesn't like me. It's fine. If he does like me, I don't know. He was looking at me a lot when we were talking.
Well, I think he likes to not like you, if you know what I mean. He sure enjoys putting up a fuss about your existence, and well, I've read enough novels to know what that means. Don't tell Miss Betsy.
Oh, that woman doesn't even know. Never mind. I'm not even going to get into that conversation. I think Angel is up to get like really like you can see that look that Angel has like they were about to go in the deep end and like no, that's not that conversation for this.
Angel, with me and make sure that nothing untoward happens. I have to say I'm starting to see a little soft underbelly to Ernesto, and well, I don't hate it, but I'd still feel safer having you with me.
I was surprised that he even has a soft underbelly. Huh. Okay. All right, sure, I'll come with you.
Soft like a cow's nose, I'm telling you, we just haven't seen it before.
Until I see it, I doubt it exists. But I'll be there for you.
All right. Tomorrow night?
Flick thinking, did I plan to have a date tomorrow night? Hold on.
Martin.
You did.
Like no, like Joaquin.
Please.
Yes. Like Joaquin is still looking. Joaquin is still like looking out the door when Ernesto and Joe left, just like kind of sulking, and he's only half listening. And as soon as like it's just like Martin.
Oh, that's right. I do have a date with Martin tomorrow. Oh God.
Oh, Angel.
You know what? I'll bring Martin along with this.
Make it a double date.
Make it a double date.
Of sorts, I suppose. It might not be what you think. But then again, with Ernesto, one never knows.
Exactly.
That's not
well, all right.
Need to hear.
Let's invite Martin.
Joaquin, you got someone to date? Maybe we can bring him along too.
Oh, how about your game with Lainey?
I wouldn't want to put Lainey through dealing with Ernesto. It's fine.
Then you come along with us. Come on.
Well, I will say I'd rather not have all this getting out to too many people. Now, Ernesto was quite clear that this is a pretty private matter regarding basic safety and security. Now, Martin...
What do you mean by basic safety and security?
I can't talk on that here. Angel, you know me. Just trust me and please.
Okay. I'm trying. Okay. I trust you. I don't trust Ernesto. That's the problem.
Well, that's why I need you. Okay? I think we're all on the same page here.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now just now bring Martin, but try to keep him distracted or something.
I can keep him distracted.
Well, I know you can. He doesn't seem too, he's not the sharpest nail in the horseshoe.
I wasn't talking about that.
Well, Angel, whatever you need to do, I trust your judgment. So tomorrow night, a double date?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, don't be alarmed if there's guns. Now, shoo. I'll talk to you later.
Doncita.
Just. We'll talk later. Scrub down the bar, looking around for Miss Betsy, checking out that nun.
And I think Angel's going to turn back to Joaquin and be like, well, if you're not coming with us, at least take Lainey on a date. You know? Yes?
Date friends go on dates, yes.
Yes. Friends go on dates. Also, if you're intrigued in more things, this is a good way to see how y'all fit together.
Joaquin, what if you kiss her?
Kissing.
It's a thought. Just an idea. I think that's where Angel was going.
I'm just saying, maybe if it happens, like...
Kissing. Is Lainey even attracted to men, though?
I don't know. You don't know until you try, right?
I haven't noted anyone around here being terribly particular when it comes
it's
to...
It's a small town, but you know what God.
We are the Degrassi of Western telenovela novels.
I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
And if if she's not attracted to you, then like, you know what? Y'all can still be friends, right? Like,
Yeah, we.
but you never know if that's going to be a thing until you do the thing, you know?
Lane,
Only if you want to, Joaquin. Don't let anyone pressure you. We just think you're awfully sweet. If there's smooch and happiness to be had, we want that for you.
I enjoy Lainey's company. I will ask Lainey to hang out tomorrow.
There you go. See? Perfect.
A matchmaker feels on top of anxiety from bar fight feels on top of conflicted about political dynamics feels. It's a lot happening.
Is it Doncia just like one big knot? Is that what's
Siempre. I don't see. I feel so much.
Oh, I love that this is like this wholesome scene happening at the bar. I think Miss Betsy does kind of come in, and she's immediately drawn to the nun, and they're praying together in the corner. But you see, as like in between prayers, she's looking over at you, Adoncia, and it doesn't look good.
Oh, I owe her money already.
And you started a fight in her very fancy establishment.
Oh, and Rosa's not even here to stand up for me to her.
So as that tension is mounting, I want our camera to cut to Ernesto. Where did you take Dr. Joe?
So Ernesto, the camera cuts to Ernesto, and he has resting asshole face. So there's like a confident smirk on his face, and it is inside of the bank where he is at his desk with the doctor, and he is quietly conversing with the doctor, and he's like, doctor, I believe that everyone should be treated fairly and with respect. And I believe that you deserve fair restitution for the damages that you suffered today. So I'm interested in figuring out how to help you advance your station, and also how to help you, I'm trying to think of the right way to say it, how to help you be willing to unburn these bridges that I know you may be willing to burn at this moment with the kind folk of this lovely city.
He's going to just kind of take the moment to just kind of keep cleaning off his hands, kind of keep squeezing the whiskey from his coat. It's a mighty fine offer, Ernesto. You seem to know a lot about this town and how it's run and the dealings that make it tick. So, whatever you're offering me, I'd be a fool not to accept it. Right?
Ernesto quietly strokes his beard, as that seems to be like his idle thinking face when he's not looking like a smug asshole. And he looks at the doctor and he smiles and he's like, well, you see, I'm interested in offering you my friendship, but I understand the things that grease the wheels that underpin our society. And for me, as a banker, I understand that money is a powerful thing. I'm friends with lots of the business owners in this here lovely town, and we have a vested interest in not necessarily keeping things the same, but making sure that change is an incremental thing, and making sure that those of us who are content to be here in this fairly small city don't get crushed by the wheels of progress. I understand that you have some friends of your own, and I'm not asking you to forget about them. I feel like that would be mighty presumptuous on my part. But I am interested in genuinely becoming your compatriots and figuring out how everyone in this lovely place can advance together. I know that you, like many of the men, and also the women and the friends in this town, have eyes for Adoncia. Honestly, who doesn't? She is a gem. But there are also lots of other people here, and there are lots of complicated plots. So what would it take for me to help you forget about all of this? As a banker, I'm a mighty powerful man.
All right. So his eyes are kind of flicking around. So you asked one of the spot something out of place questions. So I would like you to roll to spot something out of place.
Okay.
Have you been intimate with Dr. Joe recently?
I mean, I feel like saving him. No matter. I hope I get some bonuses to this, but because Jesus Christ. But I feel like saving him from a potentially disastrous encounter, at least for him on a social scale, should lend me some clout towards that. Have I been intimate with him? But he and I are not close.
Okay. Are you free of other distractions?
Yes, I'm definitely free of other distractions in this moment.
And you are taking control of the situation.
Yep.
So you're definitely rolling with +2. I'm just
Yeah.
checking your sheet. Do you have any moves or?
I don't think for spot something out of place. I'm glad that I got rid of the raging.
Yeah,
because
same.
that would have hurt me.
Okay, so go ahead and roll with that +2.
Yeah, so I got an 8 with a +2. I got a 1 and a 5. But with the +2, I have an 8.
All right, so you get to ask 2 questions, and then Dr. Joe gets to ask you 1. So you get to choose between, well, you already kind of asked, how could I get your character, Dr. Joe, to do this for you?
Mm-hmm.
How does Dr. Joe feel about blank? What is he planning? What does he have of value or use? And what's he hoping to get from you?
So yeah, I definitely asked him, how could I get him to let bygones be bygones and to take that social L from the fight without revenge. And I think, what other good question would I have? I feel like asking what is he planning would be a good one in the situation. Those 2 questions. Yeah.
Okay. When you ask him, what can you do for him?
Yeah.
You definitely saw interest at money. He'll just kind of lean in. Well, if you're offering, I wouldn't say no to a little wheel grease. It is getting a practice set up, especially in a new place. Building clientele I need to have a sparkling reputation, don't you know? So
That's very understandable. And I'll be honest with you too. I'm definitely looking forward to having a better relationship with you, since you seem to be a much more forward thinking type than your predecessor. So I'm happy to spend a little right now and for you and me to become at least friendly towards each other. So yeah, if money is what you got, if money is what you need, I'm willing to be your man.
I think we can come to some sort of arrangement, Ernesto. As to what I'm hoping to do here, you did mention that you know about my powerful friends. I've been known to make friends, much like yourself in this profession. It's just good business. It's good business. Now, I don't want to seem ungrateful, and I don't want to seem like I would favor one friend's goals than another. But if a better offer is made, I'm a simple man with simple pleasures. Can be persuaded.
So what you're saying is that you're loyal, but you're not zealous. And I feel like that's a mighty fine characterization. I think that I admire your willingness to look out for your own self-interests. And I respect it. I'm willing I'd appreciate it if you and I become close, if you'd let me know if there are other how do I put this delicately? If there are other offers on the table, I'm not going to ask you to betray your friends or anything, because I understand that loyalty is a hard fought for thing. But I definitely like the idea of you coming into this town and
Ooh, we lost you.
oh, you lost me?
Was that just me?
I think that was just you because I heard it.
Oh,
Okay, is my connection good now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Ernesto is just he's just talking about like them staying friends and the doctor making sure that if there are other offers, at the very least to let Ernesto know that the doctor's being competitive.
I think Joe he'll pop the doctor bag at this point and pull out a medicinal flask and pop it open. Medicinal, of course. Take a sip. Why don't we drink on it?
Ernesto, if the doctor's offering that exact thing, then Ernesto will happily take it and be like, I can agree to that. And I definitely again apologize on behalf of both the good people of this town and of course my own familial relations. I'll make sure that you get everything that you deserve. And in exchange, just let my brother's recklessness just chalk it up to him being a lovable scamp, you know?
And what about Miss Adoncia? I should
Ernesto,
probably apologize to her, don't you think?
at that point, Ernesto is going to nod. He was about to say something else because he was curious to see what direction this was going. But upon hearing that the doctor wants to apologize, he's going to nod and he's going to be like, you know something, doctor? I feel like you're going to get along just fine in this town with that head on your shoulders. Apologizing to Miss Adoncia is definitely the right move. I feel like she would appreciate it a lot. She's a forgiving sort.
All right. Well, I have to talk to some people, but I think I have a business proposition that I'd much rather you be with me than against me on.
I'm always down to talk business. You are always welcome here, sir. I understand that these things, some of these wheels are real slow moving. So just let me know when you're ready to talk.
The doctor will take another medicinal sip from his flask and put it in his doctor bag, snap that shut. And that audible snap kind of rings out around the empty room where you're in. And he'll just kind of nod to you, good evening. And he'll kind of head back towards where he is currently living. And he'll look back over his shoulder. Hat tip. Ooh. Well, what is going on back at the bar? Have folks stayed around? Have you left for the evening?
Well, I know I'm very concerned about whether or not I still have a job and a home. Since I still haven't paid Miss Betsy rent, I'm waiting for Rosa to get back so we can pool our tips together to pay our damn rent. And also, I just caused a whole big scene and broke some stuff at work.
I think Miss Betsy is done praying. And she's going to put down the rosary after she's finished with her conversation with the young nun in the corner, who looks a lot less shaken. Someone's poured her a very tiny glass of sherry. It might have been Miss Betsy, that she's politely sipping on. But Betsy will come up to the counter and just say, Adoncia, what? Did I hear you threw a glass in the face of the new doctor?
Well, now, Miss Betsy, it was more complicated than that.
It is not complicated. It is not complicated at all. You are an employee of this establishment.
I would like to manipulate a superior.
Yes! Let's do it!
At this point, in this like meta moment, Ernesto, I'm gonna point out that Ernesto is walking back to the saloon, and there's a big grin on his face. He's here, just waiting.
All right. I think you definitely come across this scene of Adoncia and Miss Betsy just like whispering, like not very subtly to each other over the counter.
Yeah, he's not going to do anything, but he is ready.
Adoncia, I'm afraid you have not caught her in a good mood.
No, but I do have an ambient +1 because I marked my KG condition earlier.
Yes.
So I do still have a +1 from that. Thank you, condition. Yes. Does my well-being directly affect theirs? Well, I don't know.
I mean, you do pay her rent, and she would have to find somebody else to work.
That's true. That's true. I am, I think I'm the only bar back she's got. She may have another, like, senior bartender, but I'm there happily cleaning up everyone's spit and, like, passing around slop buckets and, you know, working long hours and letting people degrade me pretty regularly without too much complaint.
So really, you hold all the power in this situation as the worker.
Yeah. So I think I have all the power in this situation in general, except the part where I did not catch her in a good mood and, in fact, directly responsible for her bad mood.
And are you in over your head?
100%. I am directly responsible for my employer and landlord's bad mood right now.
All right. So go ahead and roll the 2d6 plus 3.
Yes. I was also praying my rosary, I guess, because I sure have a 10 right now.
A 10? Amazing. So yes.
Let's use my big eyes to manipulate her into seeing that I really had no choice because this man was behaving very badly and threatening the reputation of our good establishment.
So what are you asking her for?
Lenience? Forgiveness? Maybe an extra candle on her ofrenda for my soul?
She is going to just kind of, you see the fury in her face, but as your big eyes meet her cold ones, you see her melt a little bit, and she kind of puts a hand to the locket of La Virgencita on her chest, looks back at the nun, who is now watching, and you can see her like, oh, can't be mean in front of the nun.
I am an orphan. I just want to, my poor parents looking down on me from heaven really just want me to do what's best, and I am trying.
Don't say, I better see you in church on Sunday. Amen. You keep your job, but no more throwing things.
Oh, goodness, no, Miss Betsy. And you know I'll say an extra Our Father tonight at bedtime during my prayers.
All right. Done. And she starts, she'll turn and walk away.
God bless you, Miss Betsy.
And Joaquin and Angel and Ernesto, you all saw this play out.
At this point, Ernesto is going to quietly slide over to his gemelo, and he is going to say, "Is like, I'm just letting you know right now that I handled the situation with a good doctor. I don't mind you getting into little scraps, but it's the way that you use violence is something that speaking as family, it might not be a bad idea for you to get a better hold on that your temper, you know? Just some friendly advice."
I don't need you handling my shit.
Ernesto's just gonna smile at you condescendingly. He won't say anything else, and he'll back away, his hands up in a gesture of surrender. He's like, we don't have to be so tense. He thinks, but he acknowledges that feelings are being felt right now.
And Angel, what is your reaction to this very intense night here at the saloon?
I think, other than drinking, just watching the two talk. And when Joaquin said that he didn't need Ernesto protecting him, Angel's like, yeah. And like sort of like just egging it on and taking a shot.
Ernesto hears this and he just smiles. Right now he's won all of the big interactions that he's had in this moment, even if the victories have been small. So even Angel's silliness isn't enough to really get under his skin. He will just he'll nod at Adoncia and wink at her, and then he will quietly slink back into the shadows.
And I think here, with our tension turned up to max, whiskey all over the floor, tempers high, dates and chaperones scheduled, the credits will roll as the familiar theme song plays. Another week, another Rosas y Pistolas episode. And folks, let's go around and meet our characters, meet our players rather. Tell us where we can find you. Let's get started with Ernesto. Where can we find you on the internet?
Hi everyone, I am the actor who plays Ernesto. My name is Luciano. I go by they, them pronouns. I promise in real life I'm very nice, but I am definitely loving being the baddie. I can mostly be found on Twitter, but I do a fair amount of writing for different publications such as The Humanist. I also do YouTube and live streaming, and I'm planning to get back into those things hopefully before the end of the month.
Hi, y'all. I'm Monroe. My pronouns are he, they, and I play Joaquin. Pronouns he, him. A himbo playing a himbo. It's great. I am a TTRPG writer, editor, sensitivity reader, and game designer. And y'all can find me on Twitter doing whatever it is I do. I don't know at this point anymore sometimes. At Monroe98.
Hi, I'm Friday. I don't know how to follow. I don't even know what I do anymore except mood. Eternal mood. I'm Friday, she, her pronouns. And in addition to sometimes getting to play really fun, ridiculous games with friends on the internet, which is my favorite hobby, in my outside of this life, I own just a little nerd tea shop called Friday Afternoon Tea, where I make tea for nerds using neuroscience magic superpowers. That's a real job a person can have, I guess. I made it up and it's my job. So there we go. I also write a blog on death and fiction, analyses of culture surrounding both their import in our lives, as well as my own original pieces of fiction, mostly real creepy bummers. Melancholic feminist sad horror is kind of my thing. I think I'm feeling that vibe this year anyway. So if you like being sad and unsettled and reading about death and why books are important, that's a good place to go. You can find me there. I'm also, on all the different parts of the internet, just being silly and goofing off and drinking tea. That's me.
And I'm Mo. They, she pronouns. You can find me on all the socials at Saturday Bezos. I do a lot of stuff with Utopia, which is another streaming channel. You can see my podcast, Powered by the Players, which is an actual play podcast that's all Powered by Apocalypse games with a rotating diverse cast. With the Geek Spectrum Network, I do some sensitivity consulting. I do some writing. Yeah, I do things. Just follow me on Twitter. It's easier that way.
And thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Christina Sisto-Kindle. I am also a writer and a role player, a GM. You can find me on Twitter at D20xtina. You can find my games on itch, or you can find me gaming on Twitch as Xtina Smash. And here on TTRPG next Tuesday for more Pasión de las Pasiones. TTRPG has some more fantastic content coming your way. Summer Farm is on Monday. It's at 11. They're playing Stardew Valley, one of my favorites, and it's so cute and I love it. And if you want to play on this channel, be considered as a player, you can go fill out an audition form for Saved by the Spell, a Monster of the Week campaign. Go follow TTRPG on Twitter and fill out a casting form. Where you can find one of the projects. I'm hyping a project. I'm working on. Go check out Not Another Monster Quest over on DM's Guild. It's full of really cute, wholesome adventures and encounters for you and your party to encounter with some monsters that are not combat based. So go have a cup of tea with a bugbear and tell them that we sent you. And if you would like to see one of our fabulous characters here on this game, Melt Down, which is a specific condition where they had checked off all those condition boxes, you can help that happen. You can head over to the donate link and gift a condition and help us raise money for immigrant justice. So thank you so much for joining us. Hasta luego. We'll see you next time.